There is a quiet despair that comes in the first few seconds of a new day. It is the moment the alarm clock rings and you open your eyes to the heavy, familiar feeling that sleep has not visited you at all. You followed all the rules: a dark room, no caffeine, 8 solid hours. You did everything you were supposed to do. And yet, you wake up feeling as though you have run a marathon in your sleep, as though you have been working, not resting. This is the great betrayal of sleep. The place that is meant to be our sanctuary becomes just another source of exhaustion. And we make a common mistake. We believe the problem is our body, our hormones, our age, our mattress. We think our hardware is failing. The consequence is a frantic, endless search for a physical fix for a problem that is not physical at all. But the great psychologist Carl Jung offered us a different map, a map into the dark territory of the night. What if the problem isn't your body, but the unresolved business of your soul? What if when your conscious mind goes to sleep, a secret second workforce clocks in, the night shift of your unconscious mind, a silent crew working tirelessly in the dark to sort through all the emotional debris that you pushed aside during the day? Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on this hidden world. We will discover the 4 main jobs on your soul's nightly to-do list and understand why this second workday is leaving you so drained. And most importantly, we will learn the gentle pre-sleep practices that can finally give your soul's night shift the break it deserves. Sleep is supposed to be a sanctuary, a quiet harbor where the battered ship of our consciousness can come for repair. And so when this sanctuary betrays us, it is a uniquely painful kind of loneliness. This is the common mistake we make when we wake up tired. We assume the problem is with the harbor. We buy the better pillow. We try the magnesium spray. We get the blackout curtains. We count the sheep and the hours. We treat our sleep like a mechanical problem, a piece of broken hardware that needs to be fixed. And the consequence, when all our efforts fail, is a profound sense of despair. We feel broken, defective. We begin to believe that even this most basic human function, the simple act of rest, is no longer available to us. The war we fought during the day has followed us into the night. But the profound wisdom of Carl Jung offers us a radical reframe. The true solution begins by understanding that you are not asking the right question. The problem is not your sleep. The problem is what you're bringing with you into your sleep. The truth is, your body is resting. Your soul is hard at work. When your conscious daytime mind finally clocks out, a silent, tireless crew clocks in. This is the night shift of your unconscious mind. Imagine your psyche is a great house. During the day, you live in the sunlit rooms upstairs, managing your life. But as you go about your day, you create an emotional mess. A pile of unspoken frustrations in the corner. a spill of quiet grief on the floor, a stack of unresolved worries on the table. You are too busy to deal with it, so you close the door on the mess and go to sleep. And that is when the night shift arrives. This tireless crew descends from the quiet corridors of your mind to clean, to sort, to process, and to repair the emotional landscape of your soul. But for so many women in their 50s, after a lifetime of accumulated mess, the night shift is overwhelmed. It is understaffed and overworked. You are not waking up tired because you slept poorly. You are waking up tired because your soul has been working a brutal 12-hour shift with no breaks. Let's return to Sarah. After learning to use her psychological first aid kit, she felt more in control during the day. But she still woke up with that heavy, leaden feeling. "I sleep for 8 hours," she told me, "but I feel like I've been running a marathon. My dreams are stressful, like I'm constantly trying to solve a problem." Sarah wasn't resting. Her soul was working. So what exactly is on the to-do list for this nightly crew? The work generally falls into 4 demanding categories, and you may recognize that they are the nighttime expression of the 4 great energy leaks we spoke of. First, the night shift must process all your repressed emotions. Your unconscious has a powerful emotional metabolism. It must digest what your conscious mind refuses to. That biting comment from your spouse that you swallowed with a tight smile. Your soul is chewing on that tough gristle all night long. That surge of grief you pushed down when you saw an old photograph. Your soul is sitting with that sadness in the dark. This emotional labor is exhausting work. Second, your night shift must wrestle with the big questions of midlife. The 50s are a time of profound existential reckoning. Questions of meaning, of mortality, of purpose. They rise up from the depths. Your daytime mind is too busy to entertain them, so your unconscious takes them into the dream world, a cosmic courtroom where it debates the meaning of your life and the path not taken. This is high-stakes philosophical work. Third, your night shift must replay your unresolved conflicts. The ghosts of yesterday's arguments, the things you wish you had said, the apologies you never received, they all come to visit in the dark. Your unconscious is a tireless script editor, rerunning these scenes over and over, trying to find a resolution and ending that makes sense. It is a relentless, emotionally draining task. And finally, the night shift must grieve the unlived life. The ghost children we spoke of, the artist, the traveler, the scholar, they don't just call from the basement during the day. They walk the halls of your dreams at night. Your unconscious makes a nightly pilgrimage to the graveyard of your abandoned dreams, a quiet, heartbreaking ritual of mourning for the parts of you that have been exiled. This is the work your soul is doing while you sleep. So I invite you to pause here, just for a moment. Breathe into that feeling of morning exhaustion, and with a new sense of compassion for yourself, gently ask, what might be on your soul's to-do list tonight? This is not a sign that your mind is broken. It is an invitation to listen differently. It is a plea from your inner world for help, a request to share the load. But how do we do that? How do we change our relationship with rest from one of demand to one of dialogue?
So, we have seen the truth. Your soul is working the night shift. And here, we arrive at the great mistake of modern wellness culture. Faced with a mind that will not be quiet, we are taught to silence it. We are told to clear our minds, to stop thinking. We download the meditation apps that promise tranquility. We drink the sleepy time tea. We may even resort to the sleeping pill that offers the blunt force of unconsciousness. We treat our inner world like a noisy neighbor that needs to be evicted. And the consequence is that the war continues. Your unconscious, this diligent night crew, is trying to deliver an urgent report about the state of your soul. And you are trying to shoot the messenger. This creates a profound internal conflict. The harder you try to force silence, the louder your soul has to scream to be heard. Your dreams become more stressful, your nights become more restless, and you wake up more exhausted than ever, defeated in a battle you were never meant to fight. But the wisdom of Carl Jung points us to a path of profound peace and cooperation. The true solution is a radical act of surrender and trust. What if you were to stop trying to silence your mind and start listening to it? What if the goal was not an empty mind, but an understood one? This is the great reframe of our relationship with rest. True rest is not the absence of thought. True rest is the harmony between what is known and what is unknown within you. It is the peace that comes when the day shift and the night shift are finally on the same team. This begins with a simple yet profound shift in strategy. You must start doing some of the night shift's work during the day. If you consciously make space to process the emotional debris of your life while you are awake, your soul will not have to work so hard while you are asleep. I remember working with a woman named Carol, a 55-year-old executive. Her complaint was classic. She said, "I fall asleep fine, but I wake up at 3 a.m. every single night with my heart racing and a list of worries a mile long. It feels like my brain just turns on." For months, Carol fought this. She tried breathing exercises. She would get angry at her own mind. Nothing worked. So I invited her to try a different approach, to stop fighting the 3 a.m. visitor and start interviewing it. I asked her to put a journal by her bed. The next time she woke up, instead of fighting, she was to simply write. A few nights later, it happened. She woke up, heart pounding, but this time she turned on a small light and wrote down the worries that were screaming in her head. Worries about a project at work, a difficult conversation she was avoiding with her daughter, a quiet grief about her aging father. She didn't try to solve them. She wrote them down. She externalized the chaos. And for the first time in months, she fell back asleep. What Carol did was a simple act of profound psychological wisdom. She took one of the main jobs off the night shift's to-do list. She consciously engaged with the unresolved conflicts and repressed emotions. She sent a powerful message to her unconscious. I hear you. We can work on this together. Tomorrow. Her unconscious, finally feeling heard, could rest. This is the art of dialogue with your inner world. It is the recognition that the thoughts and feelings that haunt you in the dark are not your enemies. They are exiled parts of you, begging for your attention. They are the shadow children knocking on your bedroom door. And your job is not to tell them to go away. Your job is to open the door and listen. So, I invite you to pause here, just for a moment. Think about your day so far. Was there a moment of frustration you swallowed? A flicker of sadness you pushed away? A difficult truth you avoided? That is a piece of mail that has just been delivered to your soul's night shift. This is not a cause for shame. It is a cause for compassion. You are learning to see the invisible labor. The journey of shadow work is precisely this, the conscious, courageous act of turning towards what we have pushed away. It is the work of bringing the darkness into the light, not to destroy it, but to understand it. And by doing this work in the light of day, we give our nights the sacred gift they were always meant to be, the gift of true, deep, restorative rest. But how specifically can we turn this into a gentle, nightly ritual? What are the simple, practical steps we can take before we even lay our head on the pillow?
We have made a profound shift from silencing to listening. We have begun to see the restless energy of our minds at night, not as a malfunction, but as a messenger. But it is here that we can make one final, subtle mistake. We can take this new awareness and turn it into a new anxiety. We begin to worry about our dreams. We start to analyze our every thought before bed. We turn the sacred act of listening into another performance, another test we can fail. And the consequence is that we bring the energy of striving and effort right into the sanctuary of our sleep. We are still at war. But the true solution, the one that Jung's work guides us towards, is not about analysis. It is about acknowledgement. It is about creating small, gentle rituals before you sleep, not to fix your unconscious, but to honor it, to send a simple, compassionate message to the night shift crew. I see you. I appreciate your work. Let me help you with the load. These are not chores. They are acts of inner diplomacy. 3 gentle pre-sleep practices to give your soul's night shift the gift of a little more peace. The first practice is what I call the bedside dream journal. And its purpose is not what you think. The mistake most people make with dream journaling is that they try to become an expert dream interpreter overnight. They get lost in symbol dictionaries and complex analysis. This is just another job for a tired mind. The true power of the bedside journal is far simpler. It is the act of writing itself. When you wake up, even in the middle of the night, and you simply write down whatever fragment you remember, a feeling, an image, a single strange word, you are performing a sacred act. You are sending a powerful message to your unconscious. You are saying, your work matters. Your language is important. I am listening. Your unconscious, like a small child who has been ignored, is desperate to be heard. When it knows you are paying attention, it doesn't have to shout so loudly. The dreams may become less frantic, the messages clearer. It is a simple act of respect. The second practice is the evening mental unload. This is a direct way to take some of the files off the night shift's desk before their shift even begins. About 10 minutes before you plan to go to sleep, take a piece of paper, and for 5 minutes, simply write down everything that is spinning in your mind. The to-do list for tomorrow, the worry about your finances, the replay of that awkward conversation. This is not a time for beautiful prose. Use bullet points. Use sentence fragments. The goal is not to solve anything. The goal is simply to get it out of your head and onto the paper. As the psychologist David Allen says, your mind is for having ideas, not for holding them. When you write down your worries, you are externalizing them. You are telling your mind, you don't have to carry this tonight. It is safely here on this page. We will deal with it in the morning. This simple act frees up immense psychic energy that would otherwise be spent juggling these thoughts all night long. And the third, and perhaps most gentle practice, is to ask one question for your inner self. This is an act of deep trust in the wisdom of your unconscious mind. As you are lying in bed on the very edge of sleep, that soft, hazy space between worlds, gently, without effort, ask a single, simple question. It shouldn't be a complex logistical problem. It should be a question of the heart. Something like, what does my soul truly need right now? Or, what is the next right step for me, however small? Or even just, what am I not seeing? Ask the question once, and then let it go. Do not search for the answer. Do not strain. You are simply planting a seed in the fertile soil of your unconscious mind, and you are trusting that, in the mysterious alchemy of the night, an answer will begin to grow. It may come in a dream that night. It may come as a quiet knowing when you wake up. It may come in the lyrics of a song you hear the next day. You are inviting your inner wisdom to be your partner. A dream journal, a mental unload, a single question. These are not more tasks to perfect. They are bridges. Bridges of communication between your waking world and your inner world. They are how you turn the war at night into a peaceful conversation. So I invite you to pause here one last time. Gently consider these 3 practices. Which one feels like the kindest, most gentle offering you could make to your tired soul tonight? Not what you should do, what you could do. Because the path to true rest is not paved with force. It is paved with small, consistent acts of kindness to all the parts of yourself, especially the ones that work in the dark. But this is only half of the story of our invisible work. There is another shift, another exhausting, unseen job that so many of us are working not at night, but in the full light of day.
And so we arrive at the threshold of a new relationship, not just with our sleep, but with ourselves. We began with the painful mystery of waking up tired. We made the common mistake of blaming our bodies, our beds,
our age. The consequence was a war against our own minds, a desperate and exhausting battle for silence. But we have found a new path. The true solution, illuminated by the wisdom of Carl Jung, is to stop fighting and start listening. To see the night shift of our soul not as a burden, but as a partner. And we have been given the gentle rituals, the pre-sleep practices, to begin this sacred dialogue. It is so easy, even now, to forget, to fall back into the habit of seeing your mind as the enemy, to believe that a restful night is a silent night. And the consequence of that belief is that we miss the profound wisdom that is trying to reach us from the depths. We miss the soul's report. But the truth, the one we can return to again and again, is that your wholeness depends on this dialogue. The journey of shadow work is the slow, patient work of building a bridge between your conscious and unconscious worlds. Your dreams, your restless thoughts, your morning fatigue. These are not bugs in the system. They are the messages being sent across that bridge. And your job is not to silence them. Your job is simply to check the mail. To practice these small rituals is to say to the deepest parts of yourself, "You matter. Your work is important. I am here." This is how we give the night shift a break, not by demanding that it stop working, but by honoring the work that it does. And in that honoring, in that respectful partnership, we find a new kind of rest, a peace that is not empty, but full of a deeper understanding of who we are and who we are becoming. So, as we close our time together today, I invite you to make a gentle commitment, not to perfect these practices, but to simply try, to choose one of these rituals, one of these acts of inner diplomacy, and offer it to your tired soul this week. In the comments below, I invite you to share your chosen ritual. This is not just a comment, it is a declaration of your intention to listen. Begin your comment with the words, "Tonight I will listen by." For example, "Tonight I will listen by writing down my worries before I sleep." By sharing your intention, you not only strengthen your own resolve, you inspire every other woman in this community to begin her own dialogue with the dark. We have now explored the invisible work of the night. But as many of us know, there is another kind of invisible work, a second shift that doesn't happen when we're asleep, but in the full, bright, demanding light of day. It is the work that has no name, no job description, no paycheck. And for so many women, it is the most exhausting job of all. And that is where our journey will continue.